Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move today. I'm Paul Sweeney alongside Scarlett Fu. We're joined by Bloomberg's Christine Aquino. Christine, what are you looking at?
We got to take a look at AMD, of course, Paul, right? It's the biggest gainer in the S&P 500. So shares of that, ticker AMD, that's up 26%. So pairing a little bit of those opening gains, but that is still on track for its biggest one-day gain since 2016, if that holds through the close. So let's dig into this deal. What is it exactly? So Bloomberg Intelligence's framing of this deal is essentially that OpenAI this is still a continuation of their efforts to diversify their chip supply, right? Because we did get earlier on their alliance with NVIDIA, 10 gigawatts of capacity. So now the deal with AMD is that OpenAI will deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD graphic processing units, GPUs, over multiple years. And then AMD is also giving OpenAI a warrant for as many as 160 million shares at a penny a piece. That's equivalent to about 10% of its outstanding stock. Now, the vesting of that will depend on milestones being achieved, but this really looks like a mutually beneficial, very profitable, potentially, deal for both companies, and the shares are reflecting that today for sure.
All right, let's also take a look at another company, and we're going to stay in the chip space, but memory chip maker Micron.
Absolutely, Scarlett. So that's also doing pretty well today. So Micron shares, ticker MU, those shares are up 3.9%, nearly 4% at the moment, extending those opening gains. And we did get Morgan Stanley upgrading the company to overweight from equal weight. Analysts there are saying that it is headed for multiple quarters of double-digit price increases. And they're also saying that they're pushing the envelope on valuation, but price increases will substantially power their earnings higher. So the price target set at $220 versus $187 at the close on Friday. So that implies a 17% increase. Very interesting, though, the sea change with Micron, because just last month we did get the results, and their forecast for fiscal first quarter revenue, $12.5 billion, topping estimates, but still was deemed disappointing. So maybe that's working its way through now in terms of the optimism in this space, but those shares are enjoying that today.
All right, one more. What do you got?
Let's take a look at Verizon. So
New
ticker
CEO, right?
VZ, exactly. And shares not doing too well. So they're not necessarily receiving that as good news. Shares currently down more than 2% now, 2.9%. So extending opening losses. And so they have named Dan Schulman as the new CEO. He was previously CEO of PayPal. But yeah, the real struggle with Verizon is really about its subscriber numbers, because, they posted a loss of 51,000 subscribers in July in July, they announced that was for the second quarter. Analysts were saying they were supposed to gain 12,000. So big discrepancy there. And get this, they are the second of the big three mobile providers to announce a leadership change following the changes that we saw at T-Mobile. So a lot of sea change in telecom providers at the moment.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.